following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend. Of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, this is MC out.
I told you the route is on the blink.
Well, they're coming today.
Let's get down to crazy Jimmy. Wanna be Jimmy Star, new celebrity.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, bringing you the good times in music, fashion, pop culture, and entertainment. We seem to be having some router or Wi-Fi problems, and so hopefully everybody can hear us. And if you're in the chat room, please say something and let us know. Let me say hi. First, let me introduce my cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Mr. Ron Russell, and then we'll say hi to the chat room.
Hi, everybody. I hope we're working today.
I hope we are too, because we have great
Because
stars.
I love the guests we have.
So we got a bunch of cool people in the chat room. We want to say hi to Eileen Shapiro. We want to say hi to Dave Hughes from Stars Now UK. Anton Country Super from Australia. We have Backpack John. We have Cindy Lady Lake. We have Jane Doe, who is Angela Joseph. Michaela just joined us in the chat room. Everything seems to be good. Everybody says they can hear us. We got a great show for you guys today.
Good. Let's get on with the show.
We have Pia Zadora coming on and Robert Wool, and they're both like really, really big people. We're going to have a great time with both of them. Before that, we'll let Ron tell you about what he's been doing and see what's going on.
First off is, all over my Facebook page is this cure for diabetes. Now, they have Patti LaBelle saying that she has been cured after 2 weeks. They have the other black girl. What's her name? The beautiful one.
Patti LaBelle?
No, the beautiful girl, the young one. There was Leslie's pageant. I can't.
Halle Berry.
Halle Berry is saying it. So many movie stars are coming forward and saying it. My feelings are that this company may be using them illegally. In other words, posting their pictures, and then by the time they get sued to pull it down, people have bought millions of the product. So I'm not certain if this product really works. So any of you out there who have used this product, please let us know so we can inform the rest of the world that it's a hoax or that it really works. Supposedly, this product can dissolve the fat around the pancreas, allowing the insulin to flow again as it did before you became ill with diabetes. It sounds like a real dream come true if it is. And of course, Dr. Oz is promoting it, so they say. He's being sued by the pharmaceutical companies because they're going to lose fortunes of money on insulin and medication if this product really does work. So please let me know if this product works. Have you used it? Oh, I hear my echo.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was fun. That's what I sound like. I sound like crap. I hate my voice. I'm gonna do a deep voice like this. Anyway, that's the news about that product. Hollywood, the TV series.
Oh, you guys, we watched it.
Gross.
We watched the whole thing. I loved it.
The greatest mistake in the world. Rock Hudson never had a black lover. Rock Hudson never went to the Oscars with his lover, and Rock Hudson never came out ever. Rock Hudson was found out when he went to Paris to get medical attention for HIV. The media caught it and they said, Rock Hudson is gay. Rock Hudson was spinning. He never wanted anyone to know he was gay. I met Rock a few times and he never even indicated to me that he was gay, knowing that I was gay. He kept it very, very private. As far as the black woman jumping off the sign, the Hollywood sign, bullshit. She was a blonde, crazy lady, actress, as white as milk, and she jumped off the sign. So they got the old stuff and they try to make it new with being politically correct to the point of puking.
No, it wasn't. It said this is a possible way things could have been.
But it was so obvious. The right, years ago, I used to say some of my best friends are Jewish, and people would get offended. Or if you say, well, I have a lot of black friends, they got offended. And that's the same thing with this political correctness. It's shoving it down our throat that there are Asians, gays, blacks, white, dykes, everybody in the world. We're not stupid. We know they're there. And we will see minority in one film pushing their goodies. It becomes political, no longer entertaining. So that's my feelings. It was a crappy movie, vulgar to the point of disgust. I'm gay, and I didn't like when Williams said to Rock Hudson, "Drop your pants, I want to suck your cock dry." I mean, that's not necessary. We don't need to hear that kind of crap. I don't even need to say it on this show. But anyway, it was said. And then, of course, the other guy was saying to his wife, "Oh, I can't eat that. I'll shit the bed." I mean, things like that are just coarse, gross, and disgusting. And I don't really appreciate them when I'm watching entertainment, as they call it. But that's entertainment. If it's filthy, shocking, and vulgar, it disgusts people.
And we were top 100.
So there you go. You see what I'm saying is the truth. Anyway, I finished my garden PQ. It's on Facebook if you want to see what it looks like. It was a big build, cinder block, stucco, cement, work, bing, bang, boom. I did a pass through from my kitchen out to the patio so we could slide food out the window rather than carry it around through the doors to get to the patio. So it's starting to look good. Now that I'm incarcerated and I can't get out, I'm waiting to be paroled. I'm working like a prisoner. I'm, lifting cement blocks and cement. Not to go crazy. Today, I have this show, so I'm happy to be working, even if it's 2 hours a week, once a week. But anyway, I'm looking forward to Robert and Pia, because Pia, I saw her perform, and she was really very good. And Robert, I have a special, special love for him, and I'll tell you about it. It's hilariously funny when he comes on the show. So, Jimmy, take it away.
So what? We also want to welcome Teresa Sabin, jumped on and joined us in the chat room. And we're going to really have a good show for you guys today. Our guest is already here, so I think we're just going to bring her in early and let her come in so we get more time with her. So I think that you can go ahead and join her to the conversation, please, Rebel.
Yeah. I'm here. Hi. I really like your shirt, Ron. That is cool. Is that Robert Graham?
I can't.
No, it's not, but it looks like it.
I cannot get over what you look like.
Oh, wow.
Are you shitting me or what? Did you have your face cast in cement or something 30, 40 years ago?
Yeah, but my husband.
You look. I saw you in Vegas about 3,000 years ago, and you look the same now as you did 3,000 years ago. You're still a beauty, and you're still tiny.
Nowhere.
You didn't get fat and horrible.
It's hard. I had 3 kids.
Look at you. You're adorable.
There's 3 big freaking kids. And hey, you got to starve. You got to do Pilates. You got to do all that crap. And I'm driven. I'm a driven woman. I'm not going to get fat or old.
Me neither.
I like that. Hang on. Hang on.
I'll be 80 in a week and a half. 80 years old. Could you believe that shit? I made it to 80. Yeah, I made it. And I'm going to make it to 90 and 95. I guess, people like us just have a joie de vivre, a want to live and energy. And certainly, I remember you on TV and all over. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff that went down with you. But as far as it goes for you as a performer, I never really knew much about you. I was listening to what they were saying. I want
to introduce her. People don't know how she is. I want to introduce her for the show.
All right, wait a second. This is like a come on, then they'll introduce it. Everybody will want to know what the fuck I'm talking about. So anyway, I saw you in Vegas. Don't ask me where. Maybe Caesars. I don't remember where. But you had more energy, of a gorgeous voice, and you were dancing up a storm better than Ann Miller. So there you go. Introduce her.
All right, everybody. Now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, Grammy nominee and Golden Globe winner, Pia Zadora. Hello and welcome to the show.
I'm glad I finally got on this freaking thing. I had to do 20 tests. I'm a techie. This shit. I was on the other, what was it, yesterday for 2 hours trying to get on Chance.
Yes.
Holy crap. And I was having a nervous breakdown, 4 guillotines. It was too much. It was mind-boggling. I'm a techie plus I'm ADD.
Well, you're fabulous and everything is good, and now you look terrific.
She looks fabulous. She doesn't look terrific.
We have a chat room full of people from all different countries, so please just say hi to everybody in the chat room.
¿Cómo está? Parlez-vous du Benet? Ça va? How are you all? Speak in any language as long as we have a translator available.
Do you know German? Do you know
Look
German?
how cute she is.
Well, German basically speaks, they do English. But no, I don't. But I have records in Germany. I was there a lot. French, I had to learn French. And
Well, we have a fan and person who helps promote the show. Her name's B. Claudia, and I don't see her in the chat room, but she did this big post on Facebook saying that you are like a national treasure and everybody like loves you so much. So please just say hi to B. Claudia.
B. Claudia, hi.
She'll definitely be listening to the repeat if she's not doesn't jump in a little bit.
Now, for those of you who do not know Pia Isadora,
Pia Zadora.
Pia Isadora. Can I call you P?
You know what? Rich Fiddle says, how he does the Johnny Carson thing. And he says,
Anyway,
how do you say bathroom on an Italian cruise ship?
How do you say bathroom on an Italian cruise ship?
how do you say vacuum? On
No, bathroom.
Bathroom.
a bathroom on a cruise ship is la.
Pia Zadora. Don't say
Pia Zadora.
No, it's not. It's adorable. Anyway, let me fill people in. Let's go back to 78, 9, 80. I don't remember. 85. A very young girl. A very young girl, very beautiful, full of energy. Came into the showbiz scene. Real. They all had jokes about her. She became the household. Nobody really thought that she had great talent.
We froze, huh?
Our internet. There we go. We're back.
Did you hear what I said, Priya?
They never thought that I had great talent. Great talent. They thought I sucked. I was Johnny Carson's answer to Rula Lenska, for Christ's sake. I won the freaking Golden Globe, and everyone's like, Pia. The film hadn't been released. I had a weird name, Pia Zadora, the Italian cruise ship. And it was just like, who the hell is she? But I mean, it was the New Star of the Year award. It wasn't an acting award. And it was like a charisma effect award. And I guess I had the effect. And, it just, but it put me in a strange position where I had to really fight my way back. I put my dukes up and I was Mrs. Rocky. And it was good. It was a good thing because I'm a fighter by nature and I love, accomplishing stuff. So I got through that. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Then I
Yes.
Then I did a few more crappy movies. Not that Butterfly was a crappy movie, but Lonely Lady was, it wasn't released, it escaped. It was that bad. And a couple more to try to get my bearings in film to prove that I was okay. Because I started when I was 8 years old on Broadway. It's like everyone thought that I was just created by this Svengali in like 3.5 seconds. I started when I was youngest fiddler on the roof. I was in Sound of Music. I was in Henry Sweet Henry, Applause, Promises, did Industrials, had a career as a child, actress. So it's not that I started when I won the Golden Globe. It almost finished me. I mean, they're still trying to take it back, bastards, but I'm not letting them.
We can't hear. I wonder if everybody else can hear.
Hear her speaking because
I don't know what we can do. There's nothing we can do about the internet.
I know.
Should have had that.
Well,
You're back, Pia. We're having a little difficulty. I don't know why we're having difficulty.
Yeah, we haven't had it before.
We're using a new system. We're using a new system now, and sometimes it goes a little crazy.
No, that's not the system.
It's
That's
not
just
the
our
system?
thing. But anyway, so you did all these movies. First of all, we should tell people because a lot of the movies you did are a lot of fun classic movies. True Beverly Hills is a classic. Butterfly, I have to say I've never seen Butterfly, but you won the Golden Globe for it. So hey, fuck it, it's terrific.
It's a classic. You have Orson Welles, you have Stacy Keach, you have Edward Albert Jr., you even have Ed McMahon. I mean, we're not going to go there. But it really, it's James M. Cain. You really, please, you need to watch this movie. it was before its time, and it's based on incest, which is another reason I became controversial, because I looked 9 when I was 20, and there was a very sexy bathtub scene with my father, and I was in love with my father. He was really ahead of its time.
Way ahead of its time.
That's the movie, by the way, folks.
Butterfly.
But you know what's amazing is that so many people back then that thought you didn't have any talent and they thought they had a lot of talent, they're gone, and you're here. I think that says something, don't you?
Well, I don't think that. I mean, I had a kind of a roller coaster career, because I went in a lot of different areas. The singing, Frank Sinatra, the Grammy. I lost a Grammy to Tina Turner, and then Frank said, "You need to sing the standards. Stop with that crap." And I'm like, "Crap? What crap?" And for me, the standards was old fart music at that time. And I'm like, "You want me to sing The Man That Got Away? Fine. You're Frank Sinatra. Fuck it, I'll sing it." Well, I got standing ovations. I did. I traveled with him. He took me under his wing, taught me everything I knew. People say we had an affair, but there's no comment. And it was all good. He really put me where I am now, which is now at Pia's place. I do the standards. I'm carrying the torch. I'm carrying it on for all the guys. I was the baby of the Rat Pack.
Oh, wait. Let's bring that up though, real quick. We'll go back to movies in a minute. Wait. So you gotta, because I want to get some promotional in here for us. We're talking.
Be careful.
She has a brand new CD, you guys, that just came out called All or Nothing at All. It's all the standards, and I'm going to give a song list because Ron loves one of these songs. Is one of Ron's favorite songs, which is "Body and Soul."
Oh, I sing that. I've sung that for 45 years. I was a stand-up comic in drag. I impersonated Jane Russell, and that was one of my songs that Jane and I knew Jane well, and she loved that song. So I used to sing it always for her.
So you guys, the CD's called All or Nothing at All. I streamed it all morning and all afternoon yesterday and all morning today. It's got All or Nothing at All, Teach Me Tonight, Body and Soul, Witchcraft, which I love, Come Rain or Come Shine.
Oh, good.
The Best Is Yet to Come.
Wow.
Cry Me a River, Nice and Easy, and Tears Out to Dry, which is the only one I didn't know.
You picked every single every great song in the world is in there. Oh my God.
The good thing about this CD is not like Pia and Phil. It's not me belting out trying to prove that I'm, Ethel Merman or anything like that. It's very low key. It's very cool. It's very jazzy. I'm not trying it all. And there are like 3, 4, 5 pieces. You add a saxophone here. Your next cocktail party, play it. You're going to like it.
I absolutely will, and I haven't heard it yet. But I love everything that you're doing in that album. Those songs are just the best songs in the world. And I know your voice. You have a voice. You don't bluff it. You have a high, clean, I call it a mic voice, clear and clean. Lainey Kazan sings that way with a clean, clear voice, and I like that. I love Lainey. She's a very good friend of mine. Don't you love Lainey? She's the best. Lainey.
Love Lainey.
Lainey turns 80 a couple of weeks after me. And because of this goddamn epidemic, I can't be with Lainey for her birthday. I wanted to take her to the deli in Ventura Boulevard in Sherman Oaks for her 80th birthday. And I can't, and I'm upset because I love Lainey. Anyway, she's got a great voice, and so do you. I must tell you, everybody out there, this gal can sing. So if you really want to hear a true singer, not a phony, definitely get this album. I mean, what a fabulous album.
You can stream it on your Spotify.
I don't know how to do that.
I know, but I'll stream it for you on your Spotify.
No, as soon as we break out of this prison we're in, we're having an enormous cocktail party at our house, and I intend to play your album. I swear to it, I will. And I know all my guests are going to say, "Who is that?" And I'll say, "That's the No Talent girl. Remember her? P. Isadora, you schmucks."
You know what? I might just come if you're going to do that.
Absolutely.
You want to come to my party? It's celebrity packed. Everybody here is in the business. And you'll be among all the biggies, believe me. I would love for you to come.
I would love to be there.
We're in Palm Springs. Where are you?
3.5 hours. I'm in Vegas. I love to drive. I'll be there.
Well, you know what? You could hitch a ride with what's her face? My good friend. Who's her name? Finally, oh my God.
Oh, Cece Peniston. No, she doesn't live in Vegas. She lives in Arizona.
Oh, right. She lives in Arizona. All right. Because Cece Pennington is coming. We have so many soap opera stars, so many crazy people. We have a lot of fun. You have to come now. You're obligated.
I'm going. I have a girlfriend in Palm Desert. I can stay over with her. I love her.
Oh, that's terrific. We would love to have you. So I want to go back. I know
we're a fun crowd. We're no boring party.
The music thing is fun, but I actually like some of the movies that you say are not so great. I'm actually friends with Michael Berryman, and we've had Craig Sheffer on our show for Voyage of the Rock Aliens. I'm a big horror guy.
Real love, that's what I want. Never ending, never empty. I forgot the lyrics. Filled to the top. Real love, that's what I want.
I'm a huge horror movie fan, so I love that. And then you have the big hit song "When the Rain Begins to Fall" with Jermaine Jackson, which everybody was since we said you were coming on the show, everybody was talking about that about that song. How was it doing that? Tell us a little bit about it.
Wonderful song.
Recording the song, Jermaine. We recorded in separate studios.
Okay.
That's what the producer wanted, Jack White wanted. But then, of course, we toured the freaking world together, and we sang in the pyramids of Egypt, and everyone thought that he was Michael Jackson, and that my baby, who I'd just given birth to 3 months, was his baby, was our baby.
Your love child. It
was so funny because we had a big orchestra in the pyramids, and we were singing in the big stage there. I was doing my stuff, and he was going to do his stuff. And Vinnie Falcone, who was Frank's musical director, was there with us. And the orchestra couldn't do it. It just got messed up. And he said, he put on the tracks. And he says, Jermaine, sit there and pretend you're playing. So he got on stage and pretended that he was playing the standards while I was singing it. And then it came on with Katie, and they're like, oh, this is your baby. We traveled all over Europe together because we had the #1 song in Europe. I mean, we won the International Duo of the Year award at Needham, which we won over Michael Jackson and Mick Jagger. So and then our kids went to the same school together, preschool together, and we're like brother and sister. He's a little shy, and he's cute, and I have to drag him out of his shell a little bit because I'm completely out there. But we're good. It was so much fun working with him because I just love him.
So wait, how was Egypt? Wait, because Ron's really big into Egypt, and he watches Ancient Aliens and all that stuff. How was Egypt?
Well, I love the history of Egypt because I feel that I was once an Egyptian. I feel like I came from Egypt in another life.
Oh my God, Egypt is scary. You don't want to, the hotels are crazy. And it's like people die driving and they just throw the bodies on the side of the road. They don't care.
Oh my God.
It's a ninth world country. It's scary. And it really smells a little bit.
All right, let's get away from that. Now I ask questions that hey, listen, Pia, I ask questions that most of our guests are shocked by. So here's your shock question. So what was that big scandal about? You married the old guy with all the multi-millions of dollars. What the hell was that all about?
She's scandal. Okay.
What'd you say? No, really, they made such a big deal. Isadora married this 180-year-old guy.
No, I'm not Anna Nicole Smith.
Billions of dollars. Remember that bullshit?
No, she's not Anna Nicole Smith.
No. But remember that? You remember that bullshit?
Close but no cigar. What happened was, I told you I started on Broadway when I was a kid. And I was going with my agent, Arthur Miller, my manager at the time. I was like 17. I was going in the Screen Gems building to audition for To Kill a Mockingbird. And I auditioned, and then on the way down, he said, I got to stop and see my friend. He's a big, guy with UJA, and he's my good friend. So let's just stop here. So we stopped on his floor. I waited in the waiting room. Arthur went in. Next thing you know, Rick, who's the guy, my husband, my first husband, who's now deceased. A year ago, he died. And he was 95, so, he lived a good life. So anyway, 95. It's young. 95 is the new 47. So anyway, he said, what are you doing, next? Where are you performing? I said, my next gig is in Ohio. I'm doing Damn Yankees with Vincent Price for John Kenley Player as a summer stock. He goes, oh, I'm lecturing on business in Ohio State, so can I come and see your show? He was obviously, trying to schmooze me. And I said, okay, fine. So we came, he saw the show, and he came with his private jet. I guess he did his lecture, whatever. And I said, I can't go out with you because there's a cast party tonight, but would you mind taking my mother home with you on your airplane? So he schmoozed my mother and gave her the book. He had the limo take her to the apartment, and all of a sudden, to her, he was king of the Jews. And she wasn't even Jewish, but there were some Jewish people in our building. It's like, oh, he's the king, go. So little by little, we became friendly, and he always claimed there was like a 28-year age difference. So he always claimed that I married him to get away from my mother. And yeah, because my mother's the biggest freaking Mama Rose ever. She told me like I was like under her thumb, go here, go this lesson, come on, do that. Oh, we're on the road, we're going here. She lived vicariously through me because she wanted to get out there and consort with celebrities. And she got that by pushing me into the business. I was a shy little kid, and I was going to a parochial school. The nuns said I was socially retarded, even though my IQ was okay. And so I went to this dramatic school, American Academy of Dramatic Arts, took children's courses. And Burgess Meredith was looking for a little girl, I was like 8, to co-star in a Broadway play. He was scouting with Tallulah Bankhead, and I got hired. And that was like the beginning of everything. So when he saw me on stage, he's like, wow, you blew him away, this. So it took us 4 years. We got married. I did escape my mother. Very unique relationship. He was like my father. He's like my mentor. Sort of like a husband because we were married. But he gave me my independence. He respected me. I tried to be social for a minute, but his friends didn't really accept me, and I really didn't care. It just wasn't what I did. It was a mess. So I said, I need to get back to work. And he said, okay, fine, but I don't want you traveling all over, doing national companies and being on the road for a year or doing this and going on. So let me produce a movie for you. So that's when he produced Butterfly. And that was the whole scandal because when Butterfly won the Golden Globe, he had produced it, and all of a sudden he created me and all that crap. And, that's how stuff goes. That's how people perceive, and that's how it goes. And I had to dig my way out of that hole by singing. And
but that's the way it really goes now, too.
Jealousy in the business, that, Pia. Come on.
It's never I said that to a friend of mine. I said, there is a certain amount of jealousy. As a matter of fact, if I hadn't been me, I probably would have been jealous of myself.
No, but people, listen, you came out of nowhere and suddenly, my God, overnight, your name was all over the place. Everybody was talking about you. Everybody wanted to know who you are. Who is this little bitch that she comes along and now she's a superstar and never heard of her? You know what? She never climbed the staircase to stardom. She went from obscurity into superstardom immediately.
What she said, she really didn't. She started Broadway.
I know that, but nobody knew.
On a national level, he's right. Nobody knew Broadway.
Don't forget, back in the 80s, we didn't have the media we have today.
Yeah, there's no social media.
All we had
Facebook
was a
and
little
Twitter.
bit of the news, crappy news on TV, and a little shit that you read that wasn't even the truth. Today, never would have happened to you today. Now, Pia, one thing I want to know, I did see you perform. But was it in Las Vegas or somewhere? I remember you dancing.
Performed all over. That didn't sound right.
What you said?
Performed all over.
No, but I remember you were backup boys, and if I'm not mistaken, they were with tails, and you were in a tail also with top hats. Am I confusing you?
Yeah. Oh, that was a show I did. It was Gary Smith and Dwight Heaney and those guys produced it. It was called Too Short to Be a Rockhead. And then we had this thing where we did the high kicks and all that stuff with the formal guys.
Yeah, because I remember watching you perform, and I remember the people I was with, and I said, God damn it, she's good. She's got really a great talent. She can sing, she can dance. What the fuck is all this hullabaloo about? And nobody knew. Everybody said, we don't know. I said, but the girl's a talented girl.
And gorgeous.
Yeah, still gorgeous, too.
I put a picture up on Instagram that you were coming on the show, and all these people were writing little comments like, oh, my God, like she was my fantasy back in the day, and she's still gorgeous now, and she hasn't aged, and everything was totally complimentary of how gorgeous that you've maintained your gorgeousness.
Do you use fillers and Botox?
Yeah, I did once, but I don't, because then they go poop. But you don't want to have to like refill that shit. I mean, I do that to my basketballs, but not my face. I
did Botox once, and I looked like I was petrified, frightened. My eyebrows were up like St. Lucie, and I looked like this, like alert, like somebody had their finger up my ass. And I walked around, and I said, when is this shit going to fall down? And then finally, the Botox left. No more. I'll stay natural. But anyway.
That's a question people always ask me, have I had work done? Well, of course, we redid the kitchen last week.
Yeah. I'm a snoop. I'm a snoop.
You look like this when you're 97?
Wait, what's going on in your life now? Where is it at? You're in love? What's happening? You're married? You got a boyfriend? You got a husband and a boyfriend? What's going on? You got a girlfriend, a husband, and a boyfriend?
You probably, that's more like it. But no, you didn't hear the story. I've been married 3 times. I don't waste time. I don't like when I go on and move on. I mean, life is too short to, settle. So anyway, second one, we were in a custody battle, and there were some crazy restraining orders, and I had a stalker. And my Beverly Hills attorney, I was in Vegas with my first ex for my second kid's birthday party. And this guy had a restraining order, the second husband. So he came and he was stalking and taking pictures, getting too close to the car. It was a mess. So he said, you need to go down to the police and file a report so we have record of this. And I did. And next thing you know, it came across my hunky detective's desk. He's the not president. He took care of all the cases, domestic violence, sexual assault on Strip. He looks like Alec Baldwin. He's a Nebraska Cornhusker. He's way too good looking and all that stuff in the beginning. He's not now because he's getting older. You know what happens. And he doesn't do Botox. That's a problem. But I hope he doesn't watch this podcast.
No, he's super hot. Like as you see, I like older, and I Googled him to see what he looks like, and I was like, oh man, he's super hot.
I'm 25 years. What's your
older
name?
Than me.
What was your name again?
Jimmy.
Oh, I'm 25 years older than Jimmy Star. Yeah, I look younger because he looks like shit, but I look younger than he does at 80. But when people hear there's a 25-year difference, they say, Ron, you married an older man. I say, no.
No, you don't look that. So anyway, the guy we struck up a relationship, and this was like 15 years ago, 16 years ago. We've been married for 16 years.
Congratulations.
Before we go any further, I just want to say something, and I don't blow smoke up anybody's ass, and everybody knows that. I tell it like it is, or I don't say it at all. You're adorable. You really are adorable and charming, and you should do stand-up because you just did an audition for me for stand-up comedy, and you made me laugh. Not too many people make me laugh because the business bores me. Mostly the stars bore me. But you are really exciting, entertaining, full of energy, and everything Eileen Shapiro said about you is true.
I love her.
Eileen loves you. She said, Ron, wait till you meet P. You're going to love her. And you know what? I'm starting to. You're a very, very interesting, you're a nice person.
Also, Eileen is in the chat room, so say hi to Eileen because we're business partners. So say hi to Eileen.
Eileen, how are you?
There you go.
So you know what? I do stand-up comedy at Pia's Place, which is my club that I work. I've had a 6-year residency here. So I sing the standards, I do this, I have a Sinatra band, I have Sonny Charles, I talk, I make fun, I humiliate people, I get crazy. I'm like the female Don Rickles, and sometimes like, oh my God, what did you just say? In fact, I have a black co-star, Sonny Charles, and he was messing with me one day saying something not true, and I said, hey, let's call a spade a spade. And everybody just
cracking up laughing.
I'm a Pollock. I'm a big Pollock. My mother used to say, let's call a spade a spade. And I thought that meant, let's get real, don't lie. Anyway, but I do some funny, crazy stand-up stuff there. And I sing, and he sings, and it's a great thing. You got to come. We're close. I come to your cocktail party. You come to Pia's Place.
Absolutely.
We will definitely. So is it Pia's Place
meaning
is it yours? Hang on, wait. Pia's place, is it actually your restaurant?
No, the part of the restaurant. It's the club, the lounge of the restaurant.
Okay.
Mantra, everybody goes there. Everybody who's anybody goes. It's one of those high level. Don King will walk in and Freddie will put his picture up 5 minutes before he walks in. It's very crazy. Everybody who's anybody, all celebrities that come into town go there. And I sing in the lounge. You can also eat in the lounge. It's not a lounge singer, but it's like a room like Feinstein's where it's mine. It's been mine for 6 years now. I have a residency every Friday and Saturday.
That is so cool.
Well, you know what? We're going to come and we're going to bring a bunch of the people we work with. They're all young actors and actresses who are starting off, becoming very famous in horror movies, and they're our gang. And I'm going to. We usually go to the Formosa Cafe to hang. Now we're going to come to your place and hang.
Vegas and hang out in Vegas. I would love it.
Wouldn't that be fun?
It is so cool. You will love it. You will love it.
We go to Vegas. We have friends in Vegas.
Yeah, it's close. You get in the car and drive.
Yeah, Ron likes to drive. I don't really, but
It's
I
no
do.
big deal. You know, Michael and Janine live there.
Oh yeah, do you know Michael Damian?
Michael, Damian, and Janine.
Sure.
Yeah, well, they're friends of
They're
ours.
very good friends of ours.
And of course, Coco is a doll, their mother.
Michael's mother.
So we go to Vegas to see them, and we have other friends that live in Vegas. So
It'll
that
be
would
fun.
That would be fun. That would be really fun.
Yeah.
I love it. So
But you're closed right now, right?
yeah, everybody's.
There's
Until
no entertainment. No entertainment. Hotels are closed. Everything is closed.
I mean, Vegas has to be a ghost town. How sad is that?
It's crazy.
You know what, Pia? I want to ask you something. Maybe you're going to give me a real answer. I interviewed this fabulous black guy, and I can't think of his name for shit. But he is, they call him Mr. Las Vegas. He has performed in every single club, casino in Vegas, and he brings in all the black talent. Now he told me, he said, Ron, Vegas is changing. They don't want black people now in the orchestra. They want the band to be white. The performer has to be black, and he cannot bring in all the black entertainers that he used to bring in. Is that true, or is it some kind of a story I got? I never really wrote about it or quoted it. But is that correct?
I don't know that, but I think you're talking about my friend George Wallace.
Yes.
Who?
George Wallace. Yeah, I think that's him. We met him at NAMM or
He's
someplace.
fabulous.
We met him at NAMM, I think.
He's a fabulous guy.
He's iconic. He's crazy. He's wonderful. He's sweet. We're like a family in Vegas, the performers that are here. And a lot of them we just, cling together because there are not that many of us. Like when Suzanne Summers was here and all the people, they're people that you wouldn't know because they're locals. But like Donnie and Marie were here, and who else?
The usual suspects.
Did you ever meet Tom Jones? I love Tom Jones.
Of course, Tony Orlando, Tom, all those people, Frank Marino.
Yeah, she's Vegas. She knows every one of them. What are you kidding?
Remember 20 years ago, I was here and appeared with all those guys. And now they're back here, they come and then they go and we connect and all that stuff.
I love that.
Now, do you live up the hill in Vegas, or are you in an apartment?
We live in
Don't say where.
No, we live in the Red Rock area. It's a place called the Ridges. It's fabulous. It's
Beautiful out there. I know where you are.
Yeah,
I know. Beautiful. If you go, I call it up the hill where Michael and Janine live. They live all the way up the hill in the gated community. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
What's that? I forgot the road. Vegas Road.
We were there two summers ago. A bunch of celebrities from LA have a friend who's a real estate agent in Las Vegas. We were there with
Sherry Belafonte,
and we went, and they did a celebrity weekend where they rented like an $18 million like house,
10,000 square foot
or bigger, and it had tennis courts and golf courts and everything, and baseball like pitching thing where you batting cage and everything. And we went with a bunch of local, like a lot of soap opera stars and Sherry Belafonte, and we spent the weekend there. And we had such a blast.
We were so drunk.
I wish we would have known you then, because you would have loved it. We had such a good time.
We were drunk from the minute we got there till we left. We partied, we danced, we sang, we swam like teenagers. It was a blast. Party went on all night long. Sherry Belafonte is a riot. In the morning, she put on a bandana like Aunt Jemima because she was making pancakes. And Aunt Jemima was on the box, the black lady with the polka dot. And there she was with the bandana saying, "Yep, you all want some pancakes, what man?"
was hilarious. We had
Mister, your slave gonna make you some pancakes. Oh, I love Sherry Belafonte. She's absolutely the funniest broad in the world. But we had a good time, very good time.
It's
So
good.
let's go to movies a little bit. So first of all, you have Naked Gun 30. I love all the Naked Gun movies.
Mhm.
You're walking along the street, or you're at a party. Or
That's right.
and somebody did.
That's right.
That was like a weird thing that I did because they asked me to do a quick cameo, and then it just expanded, and it was the Oscars scene. And I was, Leslie Nielsen ripping my wig off, and I was skidding down the thing and going through the guy's crotches, and they're like, ah! It was fun. I love sight gags, and I love to make fun of yourself.
Leslie Nielsen was a very nice guy. He was living in Florida, and some friend of mine was going up there for business, and I went with him, and I met Leslie Nielsen in his shorts. He didn't bother putting on pants. He was in a T-shirt and his underwear as he did his business.
I would have died. I think he's so gorgeous.
No, you don't peekaboo. But anyway, he was the nicest guy in the world, so down to earth, and really a sweet guy, and very, very handsome in a rugged way.
Oh yeah.
I think he was gorgeous. So then you have Troop Beverly Hills. That's like Shelley Long, right? Or
Great.
My friend Robin Leach, who he was emceeing the fashion show. And Troop Beverly Hills, and he moved to Vegas. Lifestyle's rich and famous.
Yes,
that's who he was. And then he moved here and became like the #1 columnist. Unfortunately, he passed away about a year and a half ago.
I know, isn't that terrible? I loved him. I used to watch Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous.
Did you get a chance to work with Bette Midler? Because I don't remember the scene.
I was the youngest daughter and fiddler on the earth, and she came in the chorus and eventually replaced Seidel, who was the oldest sister, because she was just a few years older than I. And we became friends. I was a kid. She was 20. And when she was here, we hung out and all that stuff. I
love Bette Midler. She's a fabulous talent. And what I loved about her the first time I met her was she's like 4'1". I mean, I didn't realize how small Bette Midler was. You think of her as a larger woman. She's really about 5'1", maybe.
Yeah, she. That's how she walks with the feet close together.
Yeah, I mean, no, I got news for you. When Bette Midler enters the room, her tits come first. Her tits come in the room first, then she comes in. I'm telling you, she's so little with these big tits. And when I met her, she was at Perry Winkler's house changing her daughter's diaper. That's how many years ago it was. Her daughter was an infant, and she was changing a diaper. And I remember her turning around and saying, "Why can't shit smell like Chanel?" So why can't baby shit smell like Chanel? That's what I remember her saying the whole afternoon.
She's so funny.
Fabulous broad.
So you've done so many cool things. If you had a bucket list, I like to ask everybody, especially since you're an actor and a singer. So let's do it both ways. If you could perform with any singer that you haven't had a chance to perform with, who would you like to perform with? And then same thing, who's on your bucket list? If you were going to make a movie, what's a male and female star that you would love to work with? And they could be living or dead. They don't have to be someone who's live.
The first question I'd answer with Tony Bennett, but
okay,
I sang with him, but we didn't make a record. I was appearing at the Supper Club in New York, and he was in the house, and he jumped up, and we did a duet. So I was way ahead of Lady Gaga.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
The movie thing. Your friend, Rock Hudson. I would have. Okay, fine. Robert Redford, 20 years ago.
Oh yeah. The way we were, yes. Now listen, would you like to sing with Johnny Mathis?
No, his vibrato's too wide.
His what?
His I don't know what. Say it again. His vibrato's too light.
Vibrato is too wide.
Oh,
we wouldn't sound good together because my vibrato is a little wide too.
Thanks for.
I get it. It's a singer.
Is that us, Fro? You sing her this time? Oh, there she is. Now she's back. Okay.
His bravado is too wide?
I don't know what it is.
Okay. Wide.
Okay. Yes.
His vibrato is too wide.
Wide.
Oh, Wide. I love him. He's my favorite male singer in the world.
But we wouldn't blend because my brother's white too.
Yeah, you've met Johnny, because I have, and Johnny's very shy and very timid and very soft spoken. He's absolutely the gentlest man I've ever met. I spent about an hour shopping in the food basket with him in West Hollywood, and we were walking around, and I said, Johnny, it's amazing. No one here knows who you are. He said, no, they don't. We got to the cashier, and I said to the young kid, do you know who this guy is? And the kid said, no. I said, this is Johnny Mathis. He said, and so? I said, and you don't even know the name? And my heart broke, because Johnny Mathis is the greatest male singer that world has ever known. And he's been around since 1957. And I just get so blown away that Americans do not honor age. In Europe, they know Enzio Pinza, they know all the old stars of 100 years ago. And the Italians and the French and the German respect age and stardom. But here in this country, you're disposable. You're good for as long as your record sells. And once your record doesn't sell, yeah, who's that? I don't know them. Who's that? I mean, when you say I do lectures, about the old time movies. I go to colleges, at least I used to. And I was talking, and I said to this kid in front of me, he was bewildered. You know who Barbara Streisand is? You know what he said to me? No, but I've heard of her. Now,
I don't see what's wrong with that. I mean, there are different generations. They like different music. I don't see what's wrong. At least you heard of her.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, there are legends in the business. Tina Turner is a legend. My Patti LaBelle, who I love and adore more than anybody in the world. Patti LaBelle is a legend, and yet young people today don't know the legends. They some of them barely know Frank Sinatra. Oh yeah, he's the mafia guy. I say no, he's not the mafia guy. He's the singer
And an actor.
and an actor.
Oh, thank God I'm younger than you.
Yes. She said, thank God I'm younger than you.
Yeah. That God is right. You were a baby. I was in my 30s. You were about 17 or 18. I was already maybe 35 when you came on my scene. But yeah, you're a nice guy.
Everybody knows you, though. Like when you mention the name, everybody knows who you are. Well, you got to remember, our audience for this show is basically like 35 to like 80.
Right.
So like everybody in our demographic knows
like,
you.
Years ago it was Rudalenska. Everybody knew Rudalenska, but nobody knew who Rudalenska was. You'd say Rudalenska, they say, who's she? Oh, I know. I've heard of Rudalenska. Well, what have you heard about Rudalenska? I don't know, but I've heard her name all over. Whatever happened to Rudalenska?
She did a commercial with an accent, and Johnny Carson picked up on it. And then nobody knew, like you said, nobody knew who the hell she was. So when Pia Zadora came out, I guess, she's my answer to Rudalenska, because
Exactly. Well, you came on like wildfire. I must tell you, you were all over. You were on every TV show, on every place that there was anything to be gossipy about. You were really flying high back in the late 80s. Was it 80s, 90s? I don't remember when.
80s.
She froze on the right
That's
question.
not her, that's us.
I said 80s. 80s. You froze too.
I don't understand. There you go.
There
We're back.
are. It goes and it comes. This is the new science, this Skyping shit. We've been Skyping now.
This isn't Skype. We're not
it?
on Skype. We're not on Skype anymore.
Oh, it's the other
StreamYard.
Oh, whatever.
It has nothing to do with it. It's our internet, but keep going. Talk.
Anyway, it's nice that we're able to get you in our home, in our show, rather than have to limo you in and go through all the baloney of hair and makeup and stuff. It's so much easier this way.
You always look fabulous, though, don't you? Because every time
I told you I have to go this afternoon to get my hair done. I haven't done it. Jose does my hair in LA, cuts my hair. Jose Iber. But I have to go and get a little, weaving of color in. I haven't had it in 2 months.
Everybody looks like the ape man now. What dress size are you?
I'm a 4.
I figured that. You're tiny. I remember you being very tiny. You're a little girl. Very
5'2".
tiny.
5'2".
5'2".
Yeah, you're a tiny little girl. So what is it you eat that keeps you so slim? Help everybody out there.
I think, but we have to keep talking anyway. There we go. Did you answer this?
Yeah, what do I eat that keeps me so slim? Not much.
I agree with that.
She said not much.
You know what, Pia? That's the diet. Eat a lot, gain a lot. Eat
No.
nothing. No, I believe in small
Do you
portions.
exercise a lot though? Yes.
Sure.
Every day. Intermittent fasting. I don't eat till 12, 1, and then I have like a little salad, a little scoop of tuna, and then for the evening I drink a lot, but I don't eat much.
Okay, that's good.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? It's blood sugar, it's a preservative, keeps you young.
Absolutely.
Everyone that says to me, Ron, how do you stay so thin? I say small portions. I don't binge. I don't overdo. And even with my small portion, Jimmy will tell you, I'll always leave something behind, on the plate. And that's how you stay thin and healthy.
I'm actually the fat one. I love to eat, and I didn't eat at all until I hit like 40, and now I eat all the time.
You're not fat. You just have.
I'm overweight.
You have a belly. You look like you're about 7 months, but that's it.
My husband just lost 20 pounds. And I told him, he says, why? Because I fat shamed him. He likes to walk around naked, right? So he walks around. He looked like he was about to give birth to triplets, like a kangaroo.
That's kind of how I am. So what did he do now?
He had the babies.
I put him on keto. I said, now you look like you gave birth to 2 of them. Just keep going, keep going.
So now, is he doing a certain kind of diet to do that, or he's exercising more, eating less? What's he doing?
Keto. He's doing keto. I put him on keto. And
Okay, I'm doing that too. I lost 7 pounds on it so far.
Great, I love it. I love all the butter and the cream cheese and all the cheese and all the eggs. I love that shit. And the bacon, it's great.
I love bacon.
Yeah, we eat bacon.
I also love
very
cheeseburgers.
rarely.
I love In-N-Out.
I love cheeseburgers too. That's a problem.
That's the problem. Cheeseburgers are the real problem for me.
I never eat that crap. Those stupid places.
Cheeseburgers, Chipotle,
Burger Queen,
Burger King, Wendy's. That's all.
Burger
I
King.
love all that stuff.
Burger Queen.
That's what I call a Burger Queen.
Ron, before I met him, he had never eaten it anywhere but In-N-Out. We lived in Florida when I met him, and Taco Bell. Other than that, he had never been to McDonald's, Wendy's,
Never.
any of the places, fast food places, and I've taken him to all of them. And
I stand there and I didn't know what to do.
he doesn't even know how to order. He can't
first-
read the menu.
The first time, no, really, the first time I went in, I felt like an idiot. I walked in and I looked at this disgusting looking place that smelled like grease, and the people behind the counter serving it looked worse. And I thought to myself, he really eats this shit? It's poisonous. And then I look up and I say, Jimmy, what do I do? And then he said, well, you have to order this, and that. And I got confused.
He's like, my life was so different. Before I met you, I only ate with tablecloths.
It's true. I only ate in places with tablecloths and candles.
You can't. I hope you don't eat too much junk food because you're gonna. Well,
Oh, he
I've
eats
cut.
it all the
No,
time.
I've cut back, and mostly now I primarily eat Chipotle, which isn't really that bad for you, because I all I eat is the rice and the chicken, basically.
Well,
But yeah, I've cut way back though, because before I met Ron, I used to eat it like every day.
Pia, when you come to the house for the party, come the day before and I'll make a dinner for you. I cook Italian, and because I'm Italian, so I'll make you a nice Italian dinner, low in calorie but delicious in taste.
I love it. I love it.
And we'll drink plenty of vino, and we'll have some small little friends over that are fun, because that's all we are. We're fun. Life is too short to have humdrum people around you or negative people.
Can I bring my girlfriend from Palm Springs?
Absolutely.
Now, how do you feel about negative people?
Their problem.
What'd she say?
She said, it's their problem.
Yeah, I know, but I don't like being around them. I can't stand negative. When they come out with the negative, like, you could go to the beauty salon and have your hair done beautiful, and then some girl will look at you and say, oh, you had your hair done. It looks so fake. That's kind of people I hate. I can't deal with them. I really. Or Ron, I saw your last movie. Too bad you weren't in it long enough. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
that sort of stuff I despise.
It's called jealousy, but people, they're geared different ways because of their environment and their upbringing and what they went through in their lives. And a lot of people are just negative because they had a lot of shit thrown at them and they want to ward it off and they want to make fun of everything. And that's, it's sad. They really need therapy.
We watched this movie the other night. Ron didn't watch all of it, but I did, and it was with Ricky Gervais, and it's an old movie from 2009 called The Art of Lying, and it's a movie where everybody in the movie tells the truth all the time. So like he'll see a girl and he'll be like, oh, I don't want to go out with you because I'm not attracted to you and we could never have sex, and everything is like real. And then the one guy learns to actually lie, and he starts making tons of money because he lies
Why are you
about
talking about this?
Why? Because we're talking about like negative people and shit.
But it's a big story to talk about a little negative comment. Negative people should drop dead.
I know, but it was a very fun movie, and I think everybody should watch it because it was very cleverly put together.
You can tell we're married.
Yes, we're married.
I can tell you're married, but obviously you are more sensitive to negativity than Jimmy.
Yeah, he is.
What'd she say?
And why? What was your upbringing?
What was your upbringing?
Let's talk
My
about
upbringing, Brooklyn Italian.
Were your parents negative?
Were your parents negative?
Oh God, no. My father and mother, we lived in the Red Hook projects, and our neighbor next door was a black family, and we had them in our house all the time. This is back in 1940 when I was born, 1945, 1948, and in those days, black people, I don't even know if they were allowed to exist. Everybody hated them, like, oh my God. And my parents fought with other people that made derogatory remarks about Miriam. And you know what? When I came home from the hospital, after my mother gave birth, Miriam gave me my first bath in the kitchen sink. So I had parents that were very socialistic, very open-minded, and very broad-minded. Unfortunately, my father, when it came to gay people, he hated fags. That's what he used to call them.
There
And
you go. That's it right there.
right there was the sad part, because when he did find out that I was gay, he was heartbroken because he wanted a real man for a
Same
son.
here. My parents were not okay with
a
the
real
whole gay.
man, like I'm not a real man. That was the sad part of the day. But today, my father would think differently because we've come a long way with a gay understanding.
You tell yourself that. But, you remember Spunky Lasorda, Tommy Lasorda's son?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, he was a gay guy, and he was beautiful, and he was a big fan of mine. And just before his death, a friend of his brought me to his house to meet him, spent some time with him. He asked me to sing Memories at his funeral. Frank Sinatra was there, everybody was there. But I went a day ahead. He died of AIDS. I went a day ahead and sang it at his bedside because I didn't think he'd hear it when he was dead. Said, I'm rehearsing now. This is what I'm singing. And I sat on the side of his bed with his mother, Jo, there. The problem was he was wonderful and fabulous, but Tommy would not deal with the fact that he was gay. And they asked him to make commercials after that. I'm this, sports figures, and my son was gay, and I'm for AIDS. But he would never step up to the plate, and he never communicated with Spunky for years. It was very, very sad.
Yeah, that's sad.
Well, Rock Hudson was the same way. Rock Hudson, I remember we were at the set of Macmillan and Wife shooting at Universal, and I was sitting in my chair waiting, and Rock Hudson went over to the script person. He said, listen, I don't like this line. It's a little too feminine. Could we change it around a little bit? And I was so impressed by that because he even hid his homosexuality from me, knowing I was gay. He hid it from everybody unless you were Elizabeth Taylor or Doris Day in a close-knit group of people. So the movie Hollywood showed him with a black lover going to the Academy Awards hand in hand, coming out as gay. Kissing was such a lie. And I want people out there to know.
He had to do that for his image. That was part of the Hollywood image. I don't know if he liked doing that or not. Obviously, it's not healthy. He probably didn't feel good about it. Jordan, shut the hell up. I'm on an internet here.
Rock Hudson was lovers with George Nader and Roddy McDowell. I know that because Lee Winkler was good friends with all of them. Anyway, that was the little gay crowd. Rock Hudson, I don't think, ever had a black lover. And if he did, it would have been okay too. But he never went to the Oscars hand in hand, kissing a black man and saying to everybody,
She
I'm
might not know
gay.
what you're talking
We're
about.
talking about the TV series Hollywood. That's a big lie.
I don't know if you saw that. It's on Netflix. It just got
No, I
put up
heard
a week ago.
Was Cary Grant gay?
Yes,
He came to my opening at the Beverly
Cary
Theater.
Grant.
Cary Grant was gay.
She
Absolutely.
said she came to her opening where?
To my opening at the Beverly Theater in LA when I first did my singing, and he came with Diane Cannon.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
I unfortunately I regret I've never met Cary Grant, who I adore, love. I wanted to be Cary Grant growing up. Instead, I turned into Jane Russell. How that happened, I'll never know. But anyway, Cary Grant was my idol. He was my idol. I've never met him. You're lucky that you met him. I'm sure he was a charming guy.
Actually, Eileen just texted me that you're on some kind of a charity thing for gay use. Tell us about that, because that's like cool for our listeners.
Charity for AFAN, which is,
Yes.
and I do a lot of, the Golden Rainbow here, and I was the original girl, the Revolver. I did the original AIDS charity, and it was it's on Little Santa Monica Boulevard in LA, and it was the Revolver was the name of the club. It was the first one of the trendsetters. They carried me in, the guys carried me in, and my Bob Mackie gown, and my ex-husband, who we talked about, is a big gay club. He always came with me when I did those things. So he was at the bar. He owned Dewars. He owned Shenley at the time, right?
Wow.
So he was at the bar, and this guy next to him ordered a scotch, and he said, if you get Dewars, I'll buy. And the guy said, no, thank you. First gay rejection. He says, oh no, that's it. They rejected me. You rejected me. But I did the first charity at the Revolver, and it's like,
I love Revolver. Did you know that there's a drag queen years ago who impersonated P. Isadora? Did you know that? And he used your name? And he used to lip sync, I believe, to your music. His name was P. Isadora, and he worked in Vegas at the Key Club, because I worked the Key Club 100 years ago, and I think he worked the Key Club, quite a few of them. And also Ruta Lenska, who was a drag queen also, big time drag queen in Vegas, very famous, worked those clubs. But yes, there was a drag queen called P. Isadora.
wow.
I remember that.
I know Frank Marino did me when he was at the
Well, you're nobody until a drag queen impersonates you. Like Bette Davis. No, Bette Davis said, after I'm dead, I'll never be forgotten. Not as long as there's a drag queen around that imitates me.
So let me tell you a Bette Davis story. It was Jose Bear's 40th birthday at L'Orangerie in Beverly Hills.
Uh-huh.
And I was sitting with Elizabeth Taylor and Bette Davis, and our husband's my manager at the table. So I come in, get introduced, and of course, this newbie in town, and I saw Bette Davis. I said, "Hello, Miss Davis, how are you? I'm Pia Zadora." And she looked at me and she said, "I know who you are." So Elizabeth and I had we had jonker rings that I guess Richard had given my husband. There were these huge diamonds. Everyone's like, "Oh, I have the jonker." So we took off our rings and we were passing them around the table. So the next morning, Army Archer called me and said, Bette Davis called us and said that you and Elizabeth were passing around your rings at the table at Jose's party. Is that true? I said, yeah. And she was too embarrassed to pass around her brooch. Her cameo brooch. Give me a freaking break. We're like two kids.
Right.
Your rings.
No, I knew Betty pretty well. We had a friendship at the very end of her life, and she was quite a broad. Dirty mouth, could knock him back like nobody else could drink, and loved a dirty joke. She was the furthest thing from the lady she portrayed on the stage, on the screen, as we all know. Yeah. But yeah, I could see Betty in that. I have so many Bette Davis stories from so many people. And my favorite one of all is when we went to Les Moustaches for lunch in LA, a bunch of us, all in the business. And Betty had on big sunglasses and a sailor hat pulled down with no lipstick. And we finished eating lunch, and she turned around and said to the waiter, "More coffee," with that Betty Davis voice. And she had just put on her big red lips. Well, like all the queens in the restaurant jumped up and said, "Oh my God, it's Miss Davis." They ran over to her and they were going, "Oh, Miss Davis, I adore you. I love you. I worship you." And she kept saying, "Of course you do. Of course you do. Of course you do." And I cracked up laughing. I mean,
Oh, no, I have a better story. When I was in San Francisco at the Fairmont, I was walking the lobby, and one guy, and I wasn't dressed, I wasn't done. He comes over to me and goes, "Oh my God, you're Pia Zadora." I said, "I hate her!" And he ran so fast.
You had fun.
I scared the poor bastard away.
I love, though, that you've had fun and that you're still having fun. And I love the fact that you really don't look like you've aged a day.
not a bit. And that's no bullshit. We don't do that.
That
crap
you're
here.
still gorgeous and still talented. We want to let
I mean,
everybody...
I don't know if it's the camera or what it is, but you don't look, I swear to God, I'm not lying. You don't look more than 32 or 33 years old. And I know how old you are. I mean, it's amazing. You look wonderful. And your energy level is of a 25-year-old. And I think you're fabulous. And I'm so happy to know you.
I can't wait for your cocktail party.
Oh,
well,
it's going to be
yes,
fun.
and you better come. Otherwise, I'll talk bad about you. Like they said, any press is good press, even bad press. I believe in that.
So you guys listen up, though. We want to get, if you want to either stream or download her brand new album, All or Nothing at All, with fantastic standards. It really, really is good. I've listened to it about 6 times in the last 2 days.
I can't wait to listen. I swear to you, I have to go out and paint.
Let me know.
Oh, we will definitely let you
listen,
know.
I have to go out after the show. I just built a barbecue at a cinder block and stucco. I have to paint it white. I'm going to listen to your album as I paint. And I know I'm going to go crazy when I hear it. All my favorite songs.
Jimmy, text me later and let me know what you really thought.
I will let you
know. I know I'm going to like it already.
I know I'm going to like it. I know, because I know he has taste.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys also
wait. You did the key. Wait, you did the key word when you said it's a cocktail party voice. That's what I love. Peggy Lee,
beautiful.
Lainey Kazan. Those are my singers. And if you're in that category, my darling, you're my singer also.
Okay, let me know.
You guys listen too. You can follow Pia Zadora on Twitter it's at official Pia Z. And what's your Instagram? Do you know?
I think it's at official Pia Zadora.
Okay, so there you guys go. Follow her on Twitter and Instagram. We want to thank you so much for coming on the show. We'll definitely be in touch, and we can't wait for you to come to our house.
And stay safe. And
stay safe. That's right.
Stay safe.
And we're going to come visit you in Vegas and come see your show.
Absolutely. That's a promise I give you. I promise. As soon as we're paroled.
All right, everybody. So, Pia, thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon, everybody.
Thank you for a wonderful interview. You were fabulous.
Thank you.
No, you were great. You name dropped. You talked. You did everything good. Bye,
all right, buddy. Real quick, a quick commercial before we come with our next guest. Don't forget, Friday night is Get In, the live stream benefit to support the Ali Forney Center for Homeless LGBT Youth affected by COVID-19. It's Friday, May 15th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You go to YouTube to the Get Out Magazine Presents page. It's going to be a lot of fun. So the people it's being hosted by Honey Davenport with performances by Allison Arngrim, Cece Peniston, Celia Keenan-Bolger, Cheyenne Elliott, Daniel Reichert. I'm going to pick out the ones I like. Dionne Warwick, Ian Buchanan, Ian Guerin, Leon, Lisette Menendez, Lovari, Matt Namer from the FMs, Mickey Burns, Soho Johnny, Smooth B, Sue Wong, all kinds of great people. Tim Moss, Vivian Reed. It's going to Scott Page from Pink Floyd. Pia Zadora is going to be there, and it's going to be a lot of fun, you guys. So please tune in, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, Robert Wool. They're going to be adding him to the call any second, you guys. Going to be a lot of fun. There he is. Hello.
I cannot believe that you're on my show.
Hang on. We're going to introduce him first.
I'm so excited.
First of all, he has a little bit of a migraine, so he says
Oh, I'll clear the migraine out.
You're not supposed to tell. I told you that. I didn't-
That's okay.
I'll clear out your migraine. Trust me.
So hang on. So how do is it wool? I actually Googled how to pronounce it.
Actually, it's pronounced. My family always pronounced it wall, almost like the side of a building.
It is Wall. Yeah.
Wall. Okay,
Wall.
so Robert Wall, you guys. All right, everybody. Now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, the incredibly super talented Robert Wall. Hello and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hey, as good and as young as Pia Zadora looked, I'm going to make a perfect counterbalance to that.
Oh, no, you're
stop
perfect.
it. Now listen to me.
Oh,
Hang on, let me introduce you. He doesn't know who you are.
Do
So
it
this
quick.
is Ron Russell.
Hi. Go fuck that
And
shit.
we have a chat room full of people from like
Wait.
about 15 countries. So say hi to everybody in the chat room.
Hi. Now, where are you guys originating? Where is this being broadcast from?
Palm Springs.
Palm Springs.
Oh, you're
Robert.
We're in Palm Springs, but the station that you're being broadcast out of,
Comes out
the
of
TV
Florida.
station is in Florida.
Okay. So
Robert.
it's off the cockers either way.
Yes, that's
Oh.
right. It's all the way, no matter what.
Robert, listen to this. No bullshit, no phony talk, no Hollywood bullshit. I fell in fan with you. I mean, really a fan of yours, no bullshit. When I heard, Turk, oh, you came already, Turk. And the Iron Box sisters. I mean, give me a fucking break. I think you are a riot. You are probably one of the best quiet comedians that does stuff without having to overdo it. It's subtle. I am a fan of yours. I am so excited to have you on the show because I meet so many schmucks that I could give a shit less about. And you are really somebody I think is a fabulous talent. What are you doing? I want to see more of you.
Well, first of all, Ron, that's very, 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 very kind of you, and I do appreciate that. Right now, like everybody else, I ain't doing too much. I'm actually working on a baseball book. You know, I've been a huge baseball fan my whole life, and I decided to write about what I love. And I've interviewed, you know, I have a lot of friends in baseball, so I'm interviewing all of them, you know, and just telling stories and my opinions, and I'm making jokes along the way, and enjoying that until things get going again. Hopefully. There's a couple of things that I want to get going. I'd like to do another history monologue thing, another assume the position. I enjoyed that a lot. And, whatever comes along. Right now, it's like my father died at 53. My mom died at 60. So I figure, I'm just going to have a good time. So because, if a great project comes, that's fine. If not, I create my own or I just enjoy it. If you can't be I always felt if you can't be great performing, be a great audience. So I try to do that sometimes.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. You had, as I said, subtlety. I mean, I've seen many movies. I've seen you in dramatic roles as well. But I've seen you as a comedian. You can walk up to something, give it a look, turn around and look back, and it's funny. Very few comedians have that sort of talent. They have to bang you over the head with the joke. You are like Walter Matthau, one of those subtle kind of I'm not bullshitting you.
He doesn't bullshit to anybody.
I blow smoke up no one's ass.
If he doesn't like people, he just tells them.
I'm not taking it that way. I'm taking it as tremendously high praise. I'm not taking it like bullshit. I'm taking that, to me, hearing Matthau is one of my heroes. So,
you will like him.
To that point.
Listen, Robin, I'll drop it.
Stories. One is recently I just watched the original. One of the things we're all doing in lockdown is, if you're like me and you're old enough, you watch old movies, and or some you haven't seen, you binge watch, or you revisit stuff. And I just watched the original 1973 version of The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Love it.
Fabulous movie.
And God may rest in peace, Jerry Stiller's in it too.
Fabulous movie.
And I had forgotten. I always remembered it being a good movie. I had forgotten how good it was.
It's a good movie.
And to that point, about a year or 2 years ago, about a year or two ago, I was at one of these Oscar lobbying parties where they lobby for your votes and stuff. But Peggy Siegel in New York puts on these things. She gets all the Oscar voters you can, and they lobby for you. They have these dinners. And this one was for Noah Baumbach's film, The Meyerowitz Stories, which I really liked. And at the luncheon was Dustin Hoffman and Adam Sandler, who was in it, and it was terrific. But I was talking with Dustin, and I mentioned Matthau in some way, shape, or form, and he stopped and said, Matthau is being forgotten but God, what a great actor he was. And he really was. So for you to say that makes
No,
my
I
day.
mean,
Actually,
wait, who was better than Hollywood Suites? Was that one that shot at the Beverly Hills Hotel? What was that movie? It was
Beverly Hills Suites or something.
It was a trilogy with Jane Fonda, Walter Matthau. It was called oh shit. Anyway, the movie that I was quoting before with Fran Drescher with Turkey
Hollywood Nights
is Hollywood Nights,
Right.
which is my daughter's and my favorite film. We always play it and laugh our asses off by other.
And we had Fran Drescher on the show.
Yeah, and I love Franny anyway. She's a crazy.
Did you ask
bitch.
her about Hollywood Nights?
Yes.
Yes, I talked to her.
How did she respond?
I said exactly like that. I said, Franny, I loved your line. She said, what line? I said, oh, Turk, you came. She said, yeah, didn't I wind that one out?
You gotta like.
She's
love
a
it.
doll. I love Fran Drescher. She's just a sweetie pie.
I had never seen that movie until I actually met
that
Ron.
movie is absolutely the stupidest movie in the world, but the best movie in the world. It is so cute. So he pees in the punch bowl. I mean, what they don't do to that poor schmuck, that little guy, that fat thing, that nerd, but they torture him. This guy is the son of a, Robert's the son of a bitch in the movie. I mean, he really is a torturer. I love the film. I think that film is what brought him to where he is today. I think everyone that saw that film back in whatever year it was, 30, 40 years ago, maybe.
40 years.
1980.
Yeah, a long time ago. I think they really saw a great comedic performance by you. And I've seen you in serious shit. And I really want you to work again because I'm an actor also. I still do movies, horror movies like Betty and Joan Crawford, at the end of their career. They do horror movies. So now that I'm going to be 80 next week, I'm doing horror movies. Yeah, I'm doing horror.
You and Pizzadora must be on the same diet.
Yeah, we eat nothing.
So hang on, let me do some bragging real quick. Besides Arliss, which everybody who's especially into sports, everybody knows you from Arliss. But you guys, so Robert has been in a ton of great things.
So many.
If
good
you're in my
movies.
generation, you like the fact that he's in the Madonna Material Girl video, which is fabulous. He's also in Good Burger with the guy from Saturday Night Live, which is a fun movie. Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde with Sean Young, Tim Daly, Stephen Tobolowsky, Harvey Firestein, and Jeremy Piven, of which we've met
Harvey,
Sean Lugg.
I love Harvey.
Steven's been on the show. Cobb with Tommy Lee Jones, Blue Chips, which is a great movie. The Bodyguard with Kevin Costner, Whitney Houston, Bill Cobbs, Debbie Reynolds, and I'm an extra in that movie in your scene. Yeah. Back in the day. And
what I remember about that scene, Kevin asked me to they had to have a host of the Academy Awards, and I'd done Bull Durham with Kevin, and we became friendly. And he asked me to do the part to play the host of the Academy Awards. I said, sure. What I remember is Debbie Reynolds, because Debbie Reynolds was the other presenter, and how on Debbie Reynolds was. After, when you read the book, Postcards from the Edge, and you see Debbie Reynolds, people ask me if Robin Williams was on, because I did, I've known Robin for 100 years, and if he was on all the time, and Robin was not on all the time. He obviously, he could get on this in a millisecond. I got the feeling Debbie Reynolds was on all the time.
Yeah, I knew Debbie pretty well. I went to a comedy club where Joan Rivers was rehearsing some jokes for people to listen to, and I wound up sitting in a limo in the middle of Joan Rivers and Debbie Reynolds. Could you imagine being in that sandwich? Well, the language out of Debbie was shocking, not even a sailor, and funny and crazy lady, the craziest, funniest lady that made no sense but made total sense. Debbie Reynolds absolutely played Debbie Reynolds. I agree.
Yeah.
Joan Rivers, on the other hand, was kind of like a Hamisher girl. She wasn't really she wasn't like a yenta like I thought she would be, joking and talking. She was very normal and very quiet. But Debbie took the whole limo over.
Hang on, wait, I got to finish doing bragging. So you guys also, because for me, Batman is really big. So he was in Batman, the Michael Keaton Batman, which is when Batman was really fun. Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson, Kim Basinger, Jack Palance, Billy D. Williams, Bull Durham, like he just mentioned, with Kevin Costner, Susan Sarandon, and Tim Robbins. Good Morning Vietnam, which is a great movie. Flashdance, which is one of my
He's
favorite
worked
movies.
in everything.
I know
great.
he's basically like in every
You know
cool
what?
shit ever.
You never gave a shitty performance yet. I wish you did, so I could talk about it.
I've given shitty before.
No. Seriously.
Seriously, I've given shitty performances.
I don't. Nothing I've seen. You're very natural. The camera likes you, and when you go on camera, you're very smooth and very natural. No, there's something about you the camera really likes. You got to go to work. Jimmy produces a lot of movies. He's going to put you in a movie.
He's just nobody's working right now. He works all the time.
Yeah, but what did I see him in last?
I don't know. What were you in last?
in a mask and gloves.
Yeah.
I don't even remember. I did a movie that's supposed to be coming out called Shirley, which is about Shirley Jackson, the author, the famous horror author.
Right.
And it's with Elizabeth Moss starring in it. And I know it was just picked up. Well, they played it at Sundance. It was just picked up. I don't know when anything's coming out.
No, but nobody does. No, but
nobody knows anything right now.
I have 3 movies coming out, and I don't know where they're coming, but they're going to come out soon. They're going to be so old by the time they come out, nobody's going to know who I am. I'll be dead. But anyway,
where you guys originally from?
I'm from Brooklyn, Red Hook, Brooklyn, New York.
I'm from Florida, South Florida.
Yeah.
And how did you guys meet?
I tried to pick him up in a mall, and he told me to go fuck myself.
No, I didn't say that. I said, get the fuck away from me.
We're married, by the way. We're married.
He came up to me and he said to me, you're the most gorgeous guy in the mall. And I thought, how does he know I'm gay? Like, what kind of bullshit is that? And that's what I said to him. Get the fuck away from me, you idiot. Anyway, that's the beginning of a long romance.
That was the beginning of our...
We're married 9 years.
We're married 9 years. What happened was I followed him around. He thought I was a creep, and then he left the mall.
I had calls my Brooklyn friends.
And
like
2 weeks later, he was in the mall again, and this time he was with his some guy he was dating, and I walked up to hit on him again because I was also in the mall, and it ended up that I had a very popular radio show. We were like one of the most popular radio shows on the East Coast, and he had a TV show out here on Time Warner Cable called Set the Record Straight, where he interviewed all the legends of Hollywood.
I mean, Betty Davis, Jane
Elizabeth
Russell.
Taylor. I don't know. Tab Hunter.
Never Elizabeth Taylor.
But you worked with her.
I worked with Elizabeth, but never interviewed her.
What'd you work with her on?
I worked with her on AIDS benefits. I went to the white parties. I worked with her at Armfar in New York. I did drag show performances for AIDS. We raised over $150,000, and we gave it to the Elizabeth Taylor Foundation for AIDS research. So I got to know Elizabeth. I mean, she was a very quiet girl, a little dumb.
I have always heard, there's certain, and I've been here long enough. I've heard every story about everybody, and I love the old show business. I'd always ask who was the biggest asshole, who was the biggest jerk, and I ask everybody that. And
I could tell you right away, Richard.
I've never heard a bad word about Elizabeth Taylor.
No, Liz
I've
was
never heard a good word about Danny Kaye.
Wait a minute. You know who was the asshole of the earth? Richard Widmark. He was my neighbor next door when I lived in Beverly Hills. I fought with that son of a bitch every week.
But
he was the
nastiest. That's not necessarily a professional thing. I've never heard a good word about Danny Kaye from anybody about anything.
Well, all I know is
one big asshole.
He was a closet queen. That's why he was gay and he was married. He was lying to everybody, like half of Hollywood. But he was gay as a lark. And he supposedly had like a 9-inch schwanz, and he's supposed to be very...
Too much information.
Yeah.
Although I gotta say, I went to the, it was funny because, again, I love all that history. So I actually saw the Scotty documentary about Scotty, the guy who owns the gas station,
Yes, Scotty, the documentary.
Well,
we saw that too.
Did you see it? It's great.
Yeah.
It's hysterical. And I believe about 99% of it. I absolutely do.
Well, no, the Rock Hudson stuff was all a lie. That
no,
never
he's not
happened.
talking about Hollywood. He's talking about that documentary we
saw.
saw.
Yeah, well, you know what, Mr. Blackwell.
I'm talking about the real guy.
The real guy. We saw it.
Let me tell you, Richard Blackwell, Mr. Blackwell, the 10 worst, dear, my best buddy for years. We were like brothers. And Richard would tell me stories about everything. And I remember him before the documentary telling me about the trailer. Walter Pidgeon used to go there. I mean, right. Tab Hunter, all the big famous movie stars that we didn't even know were queer.
Right.
Gay. Anyway, Blackwell said he went a couple of times and it cost a lot of money. Yeah. And Blackwell was, a cheap Jew, so he didn't really want to spend his money. He liked to save it. But yeah, that was a true story. The trailer behind the guest.
Yeah, no, I totally bought. You know, again, back Elizabeth Taylor though. The great story. Friend of mine, Steve Tyrell, who you may or may not know, singer. He does all the Cafe Carlisle. He's just a terrific guy. But back in the day, he was a very young kid, and he was working at the Brill Building in New York, the Great Songwriters Building. And he was the assistant, or he was working with he says Backrack back then in the 60s. And he said in the 60s, in the Brill Building, there were every singer wanted a new song from one of two people. It was either Burt Bacharach or Bob Dylan. Every singer wanted the new Dylan song, the new Bacharach song. So Bacharach, he tells me, decides he's going to one-up everybody, and he's going to write a song for Bob Dylan.
Oh, wow.
And he does. And the song is called Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. And if you listen to it, it's like, nothing seems to fit. Crying's not for me, you know. So he goes to Dylan with the song. Dylan does not respond. And so now it's in the movie Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. So they have to record it. And they can't get any singer to sing this song, to agree to the song. They said, what is this corny, crappy singing stuff? Finally,
they got B.J. Thomas.
Well, hold on. The only reason they approved B.J. Thomas is because Steve Tyrell was from Texas. He knew B.J. from Texas, and B.J. had just had a hit with Hooked on a Feeling. So the record companies and the movie studio said, okay. So B.J. Thomas flies out to record the song for the movie. And he shows up, and he gets really hammered, really drunk the night before. And he shows up the next day, and Bacharach's really pissed off. And he sings the song, and he goes, your voice sucks. We're going to record this because we have to have it in the movie, and it's going to be locked. But you're coming back, and we're recording a single. And you better be in fucking good shape. So soon enough, because there are two different versions. The version from the movie is different. So he comes back later. Then, of course, the song explodes. And then it becomes nominated for an Academy Award. So B.J. Thomas, who's performing it at the Oscars, goes there. He doesn't know anybody in Hollywood, so he brings my buddy Tyrell. That's his date. They don't know anybody at the Oscar party except Dennis Hopper. Dennis Hopper they know because he's up for Easy Rider, and they're the Stoners. So he sits at their table, and this was the year that Elizabeth Taylor came and presented for the first time in like 10 years. So it was a big deal. Anyway, they're sitting there by themselves, Hopper and Tyrell, and B.J. Thomas. Liz Taylor walks in. Hopper gets on top of the table and yells, Liz, because she had played his mother in Giant. Liz. She comes over, Dennis, and she's wearing this very low-cut dress and the famous rock, the star, whatever the hell it was, Richard Burton gave her.
Right, the ice skating ring.
Diamond or whatever it was. And so he gives her a big hug, and he says, Liz, is that rock real? She says, yeah, and the tits are too. Everybody told me Liz Taylor was a great broad, as they used to say in my dance.
She was a broad.
I have to say,
when I met Elizabeth the first time, I went up to Amphar, and I was negotiating with them for a big drag benefit with Peter, my dear friend who passed away, Peter Allen. I loved Peter Allen. And this is before we knew he had AIDS. And Peter was going to star in our benefit. So I was talking to Elizabeth, and she was laying on a sofa in a room with the Venetian blinds drawn. And as I saw her, the first thing I said to myself was, her eyes are just like everybody else's. They're not lavender. They're pretty greeny blue eyes. Anyway, she was half asleep or half stoned or whatever it was. She mumbled through whatever it was that we did. And I wasn't very impressed. But the next time I saw her at the White Ball in New York, she was absolutely vivacious and magnificent and brilliant and talkative and fabulous, and her tits were hanging out. Yeah, she was quite a gal.
So hang on though, wait, because I want to go back to this. So because the only reason I knew B.J. Thomas sang that song is because we actually had him on our show when we first went from a radio show to a television show. He was one of our first guests, and he did not tell us that story.
No.
That's the story I heard.
I like your story. Your story makes it a lot more fun.
But I remember Elizabeth Taylor. She was angry one time at somebody. I forgot who it was, but it was somebody pretty famous. And she let go. And I got to tell you, that broad could curse and talk.
Yeah, no, she was a guy. I understand. Like she was an old-fashioned broad. Hey, now, who's been the biggest asshole on your show?
I threw him all. I walked off. Some moron piece of shit came on our show thinking who the fuck he was, and he was going to run my show from where he was. was, and he was an asshole, and I walked off, and I've never walked off a set or a show in
I
my
forgot
life.
who that was.
I forgot who it was too, but obnoxious.
We don't get too
creature.
many of them because we kind of
Only
like weed them
one.
out. Like I always Google people and find out if
Yeah.
you know what kind of reputation they have on interviews and stuff they do because we don't want to have problems. Because
And-
our whole thing is to have fun and promote whoever's coming on because we love their work.
And Bob, let me tell you something. I've been doing interviews for over 25 years. I have interviewed maybe 9,000 people because we have 2 a week, 4 times a month.
We're on going on our 12th
I
year.
can't tell you how many people I've interviewed, probably half of the business. And this one was the only asswipe that I've ever had on my show. He was really obnoxious and hideous.
No, she had to. He didn't like somebody who was a big star on Buffy the Vampire Slayer back in the day. But that was like 8 years ago.
No, you can't come on this show and run it. You're not going to tell me to be quiet or to do this or to do that. Fuck you. This is a conversation show. This is not an interview show. I don't ask you the bullshit questions that every other moron asks. You know, what movie, blah, blah, blah. It's so fucking boring. Nobody gives a shit. I talk about the real world. Like you. Are you married? Are you happy? You got a girlfriend? You got a boyfriend? You got a girlfriend and a boyfriend? You know, what do you got? I want to know about you because our fans, and we have over 5 million people right now all over the world watching this shit. So,
oh, hang on. Somebody in the chat room wrote that they don't remember who the person was, but it was somebody who criticized Angelina Jolie. Ron is a big.
Oh, Angie grew up in my.
Because Angie was a good friend of his growing up.
She's my butt. Angelina Jolie, Angie Voight, lived on. We lived on Spalding. She lived around the corner on Roxbury.
And their daughters were
my
friends.
daughter Deirdre and Angie went to school together. Angie used to eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in my house. I watched Angie grow up. And people would say, oh, her lips are fake, her boobs are fake. Bullshit. When she was 14, she had a set of jugs and a pair of lips that she has now. That girl is all real. There's nothing fake about Angie Voight.
That was though how it was some comedian person who came on.
To that point, was John Voight living there then, or was he already out of the picture?
No, John Voight had a green Volkswagen with a dented fender, very cheap. They lived in they rented a very humble house right across the street from the YMCA or whatever.
This is what year?
1970. Well, let me see. Deirdre was
just like 46. So
she's 5. My daughter, I was born in
43.
75, maybe 78.
Oh, so he's a star at this point.
Yeah, he's a star.
Yeah, big star.
Okay. By the way, the other movie, when I talked about the Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, the other movie that I rewatched and hadn't seen in 24 years
Midnight
was the
Cowboy.
1986 Runaway Train.
Oh, great movie.
And John Voight is great. I mean, John Voight is a really great actor. You know, he just is.
Yeah, and John Voight knows he's a great actor. I know John personally. I mean, for a long time.
So does he.
Okay.
No, I've met him once or twice.
Okay.
Well, John, my daughter Deirdre, he loved my daughter Deirdre because she's funny and wild. We would go across the street to Beverly Hills High, and the girls would roll down the hill. Angie and Deirdre would roll down the hill. John paid more attention to Deirdre. He paid very little attention to Angie. Angie came to Deirdre's birthday party when she was about 5. She had on scuffed Mary Janes, a dress that just came out of the washer, wasn't ironed. She looked like a ragamuffin. I mean, they lived very modestly. I don't think John gave them a great deal of support. Angie grew up in a very bad environment. Her mother, Marcelena, was a dream. She was a hippie, always walking around with bells on her ankles and way out. So the girl really had a hard time. So when the Hollywood press came down on her and they started saying dreadful things about her, I just want the world to know the girl has a heart of gold. She is
a great story.
She is a kind girl, kind.
You're old-time Hollywood fans. I posted a question on Facebook about 2 weeks ago, and it started at a party years ago. I was at a party with Richard Dreyfuss, Jack Nicholson, a couple other people, and I was there, and I said, who, in your opinion, had the most pure talent? Who was the most talented person, in your opinion, who could do anything, in the history of Hollywood? And what's funny is 3 of the 4 of us came out with the same name, and it was Jack, me, and Richard Dreyfuss. The other person said Meryl Streep, but I said, okay, I go, but the other 3 of us came up with the same name. Who do you think it was?
I say Debbie Reynolds. She's the most talented woman in the business. There's nothing she couldn't do that she didn't do perfectly. Unsinkable Molly Brown, she was brilliant as a dancer, as a comedian, as a dramatic actor with Tony Curtis. Debbie Reynolds was, as I said, Debbie Reynolds impersonated Debbie Reynolds.
I'm not, because before I met Ron, I wasn't an old Hollywood person because I'm a child of the 80s. But my favorite actor from that day is the guy from the Letters movie.
The guy from Betty Davis is the letter?
No, those the three girls, and they sent three wives letters.
Letter to Three Wives with Linda Darnell, Gene Crane.
Who's the guy I like in that?
What's his name? Oh, the big burly guy.
He's my favorite.
You know who I'm talking. Good actor, very good character actor.
Not like a star though. He's like a character actor.
Oh my God, what's his
look
name?
him up. You tell him.
He's like a Broderick Crawford type. He's a big
Jack Carson? Was that Jack Carson?
No. He's a big burly guy. He played Linda Darnell's husband in the movie.
It wasn't. Anyway, nobody mentioned Debbie Reynolds, although that's your fine choice. I can't. This is all opinion anyway.
No, Debbie Reynolds does everything. She's mega.
Her name didn't come up. I have to say, this person. When I say it, you'll probably go, yeah, he's in the conversation for sure. And but the three of us at the same time came up with the same name.
Oh, it's a male you want? A man?
Yeah.
Who's a triple threat?
Yeah. Probably
Christopher Walken. Christopher Walken.
No, he's not. Christopher Walken's not the talent of this guy. He's not the talent of Debbie Reynolds. We're talking about major talents. We're talking about somebody who could sing, dance, make you laugh, make you cry, be a good guy, be a bad guy.
I don't know. Fred Astaire's not a
so
bad
many.
guy.
I couldn't even. I mean.
Okay, so go. First of all, the guy I was talking about is Paul Douglas.
Robert.
I like Paul Douglas.
Yeah, I like Paul Douglas. Okay, go ahead. Who'd they come up with?
The three of us?
Yeah.
Mickey Rooney.
Oh yeah, Mickey. Oh, Mickey was
exactly the reaction. Yeah.
Mickey Rooney impersonated Mickey Rooney also. Mickey Rooney never was a real person. He was never a real person.
Pure talent.
Yeah.
I mean, Mickey Rooney, is, it's like, he could sing, he could dance, he could make you laugh. You ever see the comic, that thing he did where he's a prick? He's Requiem for a Heavyweight. Yeah. I mean, Mickey Rooney went on for decades and decades and decades. And let's keep in mind, he also held up Judy when she was all drugged up doing these dance numbers. Let's give him credit for that.
That's all true. But you
absolutely. He held, he held her up. He was her rock.
Back then, the studios got them at a very young age, and they created the image that they all believed. I had a very good friend, Andrea King. Not too many people know who Andrea King is. She was a B actress, and she was my neighbor and a dear, dear friend for years. And she wrote about the days in a book she wrote, in the Shadow of a Star. In her book, she wrote about Debbie and Mickey and Judy and all those people. They were drugged up, they were tortured, they were abused. They had to be everything that they were not. The studio made sure if they liked pretzels, they were not allowed. They had to like what the studio liked. So they had a form of almost Nazi brainwashing. And these people, Ann Miller was another one who I knew very. I didn't know her well, but Ann Miller was another one that was affected. And they really believed their own press. They believed who they were. They really weren't real people.
You mean as opposed to the people who don't believe their own press today?
Yeah, I mean, like, you're
as opposed to these free thinkers or these wise, brilliant people that we have now.
Actually, a lot of people are writing James Cagney in the.
Actually, that was the other name.
Yeah,
okay,
I was going to say James Cagney.
And somebody wrote Stockholm Syndrome.
No, James Cagney was a brilliant everything.
So wait.
But go back. Bob is down to earth. You're like real people. The only kind that we deal with. When they get nuts on me, I walk away. Like if I go to parties and stuff and they come over to me with the Norma Desmond bullshit, I leave. I can't deal with it. When you work on this, I call it the factory. We go to the dirty, stinking factory that got rats running around, and we make a movie. That's it, baby. When you go home, you're a person. You're not a star.
Talking about Norma Desmond. That's my favorite director of all time, Billy Wilder. But what would you put in? Freddie and I, we were talking the other day. without the 5 best movies about Hollywood. And, you know, obviously Sunset Boulevard's one of them.
That's one. Believe it or not, the Rudolph Valentino story with Eleanor Parker and Anthony Dexter. It was a B movie that really didn't go anywhere, but it really showed Hollywood in the 1920s and what it was like and what happened to Rudy Valentino. So that film I would put up there with a good tell-all film. But there's so many films out there that talk about Hollywood, but it's not the Hollywood that you and I know. I go back in Hollywood to, like when I was a teenager. My mother was an actress, Jenny Gabriel. My father was a set designer. So I'm in the business forever. I mean, I remember.
Your dad was a designer for what studio?
No, he wasn't for the studio. My father worked on Broadway. My father was for
really?
the Triborough Theater. He built the sets. When they did Gone with the Wind, they flew my father or drove him out to with my mother. I wasn't born yet because it was 38 or 39. And for Gone with the Wind, my father was Italian. Back then, the Italians used to create marvelous work. They were craftsmen.
Yes, yes.
So the studios would grab every Italian. We're Italian Jews, by the way. So you could grab every Italian you could in New York and bring them out west. My mother was a beauty. She looked like a Vivian Leigh type. So I grew up in that environment. I remember meeting Gloria Swanson, my mother's pal, when I was 10 years old, and Mae Murray, and a lot of the old silent film stars. So I know the truth about Valentino.
Wait, let's go. Go to him, though. Like, well, tell us what.
Let me finish this thought. Valentino did not die from appendicitis. He was deboweled. What do you call it? A husband, he was banging the wife and the husband caught them in bed and he cut his nuts off. And that was Montgomery Ward. And that was squashed right away. Carmel Myers and all those people. So that's stuff of the old Hollywood.
Go to you. Tell us. So what are your picks for the best movies about Hollywood?
Well, I think the best, I think there's two, maybe there's one other that stands up above everything else. About Hollywood. The one, obviously, is Sunset Boulevard. Without a doubt, you've mentioned the star of it, is Singing in the Rain. Singing in the Rain may be in the top 5 movies of all time, period.
Right.
So, Singing in the Rain is, that's
also Bette Davis in The Star. When Bette Davis was in the movie The Star about the old actress, that was a fabulous portrayal of what really happens to an actress when she drinks and grows old. The other one is my Blackman, who I love very much. My what's her name? Oh my God, she's a good friend of mine. How come I not remember names? Karen Black.
Yes,
oh, I loved Karen Black. She was the kindest woman in the world. I loved her in Day of the Locust.
Day of the Locust is a good movie, actually. That's an interesting one. I didn't think about
Karen Black was a goddamn good actress. Another one that didn't get what she deserved. Karen Black was really a very intense actress. She did very little, but emoted. I mean, when she did Gatsby, she was fabulous as the girlfriend on the side. I mean, I love Karen Black. She was a good person.
So hold on, let's go. Because we've only got 8 minutes left, and I want to get some stuff in here.
Bob's got to come back.
He'll come back. So hang on. So because you've really worked with for my generation, you've worked with a who's who of every A-list actor from my generation that we look up to. So who are some people on a bucket list if you were going to go make a movie, a male and female star you haven't worked with yet that you would really like to work with? And then what movie would you like to have been in? Any movie that's ever been made, what movie would you think that it'd be fun for you to be?
There's different answers for that. I mean, for residual factor, Star Wars.
Okay. Let's say Let's
you, me, and the rest of the acting world.
Yeah, really. What movie I want to be in? Star Wars. That residual checks.
Okay, forget the residual checks.
Actors I would like. No, we're talking about living actors, of course.
Yes.
Who would I? Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep. I'll tell you Meryl Streep's story.
What is it about her? Everybody picks her. What is it about her that makes you want to work with her? She would eat you up alive. She eats everybody.
No, she doesn't. She makes everybody better. It's like playing with Michael Jordan. Here's my Meryl Streep story.
Michael.
So my wife and I, Bette Midler, is very a friend, and she's been very instrumental in my career. When I was a stand-up comic, she came and saw me in the clubs and pointed me out to producers. And she actually mentioned me to Barry Primus for a movie, Mistress, which is the best performance I ever gave by far. But Bette's always been great. So
Love her.
It's been really great. So she was performing, she was doing the one-woman show about Sue Mengers. I'll eat you for lunch or whatever it's called. And it's a one-woman show, and afterward, my wife and I go. And we go backstage afterwards, and there's a receiving line to see Bette. And so I'm behind this woman with her back to me. And, you know, she says it, and then she talks with Bette, and then she turns around, sees me, and goes, "Robert!" And she gives me this big hug, and it's Meryl Streep. And she walks away, and my wife says, "Do you know her that well?" And I said, "I met her once." She says, "Do you think she's full of shit?" And I said, "It's Meryl Streep. How would you know?"
That's right. That's right. You know, that's like Joan Crawford. Quick stories about
Wait,
Joan.
hang on, hold on. Let him finish. Let him finish the question because we're going to run out of time.
Let me just make
No. I want to know the male. What's a male star that you would like?
Who would I like to work with? Got Hanks always. Who else would I like to work with? Well, you know, I just to watch the craft and to watch the process, because I think it's just to watch it. I don't think it'd be the most fun experience, but to watch the experience, as far as that goes, I would probably say Daniel Day-Lewis, just to watch the process. I don't think because he's in character. He was a great character. I mean, Sally Field said she never knew him. She only knew, even when he would talk to her and write her text, it was as Lincoln. So, you know, although I met him one time at a party, again, one of these Hollywood, it was actually New York at Per Se for a Oscar lobbying party for Nine, when the movie Nine was coming out. And Harvey Weinstein put together this mammoth party. And it was at Per Se, which is the most expensive restaurant in New York. And it was a luncheon. And I found myself standing next to Daniel Day-Lewis. And so I figured, okay, what am I going to talk to this guy about? And then I remembered that his uncle, I think it was, ran Ealing Studios in London, which is where they produced all the great classic comedies like The Man in the White Suit, The Lady Killers, The Lavender Hill Mob, all those great British Alec Guinness comedies. And I said to him, "Were you a fan of Alistair Sim?" And he lit up. I mean, you know, Ron, you remember Alistair Sim.
Absolutely, Alistair.
He is for those of you out here who don't remember Alistair Sim, he is the quintessential Ebenezer Scrooge. Whenever you see that black and white version of A Christmas Carol every year, that's Alistair Sim, who was one of the great character actors and comedians.
He also had a wonderful delivery.
Yeah, he was. So anyway, by saying Alistair Sim, suddenly, because he grew up there, he lit up Daniel Day-Lewis, and I was his best buddy. So that's somebody I'd like to work with because of, I mean, there's a lot of great people. Those two jump out because of just who they are. I would work with anybody. I mean, I'd like to work with a lot of people. To work.
My favorite persons I've ever worked with were Tab Hunter, my good friend, and Sophia Loren. I got to tell you, she's something else. Have you ever worked with Sophia or met her?
No, neither.
Well, I wish one day you do. She's quite a lady.
I'm sure she is.
Oh, she's a big package. Woo woo.
You got okay, wait. Go back to the movie though, not Star Wars, but a movie just for your creative talent in acting and what a great movie.
Anything Billy Wilder ever did. You know, I don't know where I would have been, but that's. I mean, there's 1,000 movies like that, but I would have liked to have worked with Sidney Lumet and Patty Network.
I worked with Sidney on That Kind of Woman with Sophia Loren.
And Tab Hunter.
How was he? Was he an okay guy?
I got to tell you something. You know, we were shooting a scene at a railroad station, and he came out and he said, "Soldiers, sailors, remember, you haven't seen a woman in how many years? And when these two pieces of ass walk out, I want you to go crazy." And that's how he directed. He was just an incredible person. He was like, not a director. He was like a friend telling you what to do.
Okay.
I would
Hang on,
have
we've
worked.
only
I would
got
have worked for Sydney anytime.
So
He's
you guys
fabulous.
listen up. This is Robert Wall. You can follow him on Twitter at Robert WUHL. We've only got a minute left. You got let's see what you're on Instagram too, or where else are you? I know you're on Twitter. Just Twitter?
Twitter, Facebook, yeah.
Twitter, Facebook, you guys. So you can find him on Twitter and Facebook. Go see The Hollywood Nights. It's one of Ron's favorite movies. And if you like sports,
Robert,
watch Arliss.
But let me tell you something. Michelle Pfeiffer is breathtakingly gorgeous, but Robert stole the friggin' movie. That's his movie as far as I'm concerned. There was nobody else in that film but Robert. You just have to watch him. He cracks you up in every little thing he does.
And check out everything that he's been in. Follow him on Twitter. We want to thank you so much for coming on the show. You've been a great guest. Ron loves it too because all our audience loves all the old movie gossip and talking. So
well, it's not
fantastic.
old. Listen, when I interviewed Lauren Bacall, Lauren said, Betty, whatever her name was, Lauren said to me, Ron, a movie is only old after you've seen it.
That's right. Same thing with a joke.
And I keep
a joke.
Yes, you're right.
And I keep that quote all the time. I quote Lauren all the time. So when people say to me, "Oh, those old movies," I say, "Have you seen them?" They said, "No." Then they're new movies. People.
You gotta love it. So thank you so much for coming on the show because we're out of time.
Listen, you're coming back, baby.
We'll be in touch. And anytime you have anything you want to promote when movies are coming out, just let us know and we'll bring you back.
You
I
betcha.
appreciate that. Thank you.
And listen, Robert, go do another friggin' comedy. I love your comedy.
Thank you.
I need to laugh after the stupid incarceration that we're in.
There you go. All right. Thanks, everybody. Chat room, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week. It's going to be a blast. We want to thank our guests, Pia Zadora and Robert Wald, for coming on the show. And we had a great time. And we will see you guys next week.
Robert.
Bye, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Good show. Good show.
We didn't break that.
The Jimmy Star Show with Ron. You can get notified weekly. Jimmy Star Show. You would be a fool not to ride with us at the Jimmy Star Show.
Okay, Jimmy, clear.
Okay, cool. So we actually, because our cable TV went out and our Wi-Fi and everything is hooked to that. So the guy's supposed to come between 3 and 4 today. So I'll have him figure out if I'm making sure that our Wi-Fi is good when he gets here. And that was a good show, though, even though we had some problems with Pia, like 2 really good guests. So it was all good. So thank you very much. Just text me when you get it in the box, please.
Will do.
Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Take care of yourself.
You too. Bye-bye.